What's going on, guys? Sports Runs on Diesel back at you here with another video. And obviously, we're going to be talking about Game 6 of the NBA Finals and how the Lakers win their 17th NBA championship here. Obviously, a heartfelt congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers and them working hard, not only throughout the regular season, but pre-quarantine, but during quarantine, being in the bubble, and there's a appreciation on my behalf to the league office and what they did to get this going. And not a single player in the NBA bubble got COVID. So a big congratulations to the NBA and how successful this whole bubble system worked. And to everyone who was cleaning down there and kept everything clean, disinfected, a round of applause for you guys. A fantastic job done all the way around here. But let's get into the game details. Obviously, we know about LeBron. His 28th triple-double, 28, 14, and 10. Second all-time postseason triple-doubles behind Magic Johnson. He wins the Finals MVP. His fourth behind Michael Jordan, who has 6. So let's not get it twisted here. We know about Rondo coming off the bench and being a huge spark during that second quarter run. He had 19 points. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope shot the ball well, 17 points. Anthony Davis, 19, 15, etc. On to the Miami Heat side, a tough-fought series by Miami, but Miami, I think they're just exhausted. And you could see that on Jimmy Butler's face. Only 12 points, 5 of 10 shooting, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He wasn't his usual self. He looked exhausted. He looked tired. There's 4 or 5 of them got into double figures, but obviously there was no assertiveness offensively. And then when LA went on that run in the second quarter, Miami just hit the panic button. They started hoisting up shots, not getting into their offense, and Lakers are just transition after transition buckets, turnovers. Now, we're talking about a Miami Heat team here that averaged 89% from the free throw line in the first 5 games of this series, and they went 5 for their first 14 free throws from the line. And which is very uncharacteristic of this team. Jimmy Butler missed 2. Bam missed like 2 or 3. And they went 5 of 14 in the first half from the free throw line. So you deduct 9, you add 9 points there, plus the points off of turnovers and the missed layups. And I'm not going to say some of those layups were contested. A lot of those layups were contested. Tyler Hero airballed a floater. Every layup they put up just wasn't going in until Bam started making a bunch of stuff late in the second half. That's why the score looks like what it is, because Bam just went off and had 25 and 10. But, I give Miami Heat a lot of credit in what they did and how they got there and how resilient they were all season. But, man, they almost laid down in last night's game, even though they made a little comeback towards the end. But, the Lakers win their 17th title, tied for the most championships all time with the Boston Celtics. But outside of that, the biggest question is LeBron the GOAT? And this question came up within 2 hours of the finals being over with, after the game being over, the series is done, after the trophy within 2 hours, everyone's talking, oh, is LeBron the GOAT? All hail the king. People are putting up all this stuff. And a lot of people came to MJ's defense wait, did Jordan never lose in the finals? No, he never did. But with that being said, stay tuned for my GOAT conversation. Who is the greatest of all time in NBA history? LeBron, MJ. I could throw other guys in the mix there, but it's really the LeBron and MJ story. We know LeBron statistically. We know what MJ's done in his career. I'm going to go through every nitty-gritty detail. Coaching staffs, GMs, owners. I'm going to go through all of it during this series, so please stay tuned for that. I think this is going to be one of my most detailed series I've ever done. So please stay tuned for that. But like I said, the question is LeBron the GOAT? LeBron is 4-6 in the finals, guys. Let's not forget that the only difference between what happened in the previous 9 finals and him winning this one is he went from 3-6 to 4-6. Does that make him a step closer to being the greatest of all time? It definitely does, but it does not put him head and shoulders above MJ. Yeah, statistically, LeBron is head and shoulders above MJ, but to think that Jordan won 6 rings, 2 3-peats, which is improbable to do. He did it twice, and to think that he did that, LeBron's got 7 years of an NBA career more than Michael Jordan does. And I will explain that in further detail. You got 3 years of college. You got the 18 months that Jordan was out. When he retired, went to baseball. You can't forget his 3rd game of his 2nd season. He fractures that left foot. And guess what? He's out for 64 games. So if you add that in the 18 months, there's another 2 years. And then there's another 2 years after his 2nd retirement before he started playing with the Wizards in 2000. So 7 years, guys. 7 years difference. The game was totally different then than what it is now. Nowadays, you breathe on someone, it's a foul. You barely touch someone's head, it's a flagrant foul. You look at the refs funny, it's a tech. You throw something across the floor, you get ejected for the game. It's a completely different NBA than what it was 25 years ago, where there were hard-nosed defense. Teams were barely scoring 100 points. This is a completely different NBA than what it used to be. All right? So, I mean, like I said, 4-6 in the finals, guys. Keep that in mind. The only way he's going to convince me is if he finishes off his career 8-6 in the finals. And I can tell you right now, LeBron has plenty left in the gas tank. You know, the only difference between him and MJ is MJ had that drive every day to be the best he possibly could be. And that's not just offensively. We're talking offensively and defensively. LeBron, I know some of y'all watched the series. There's a lot of times LeBron did not switch off a screen when he was supposed to switch off a screen, because that's what their defense was doing on pick and rolls. They're switching everything. And what does he do? He stands there and lets Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson or Jimmy get a wide open shot. And he's looking at his teammates like they did something wrong. And he's the one who messed up on defense. Let's not forget, Jordan won a Defensive Player of the Year in 88-89. Let's not forget that, okay? So there's a complete difference in the competitive nature between Jordan and LeBron. And LeBron says his ego is not too big. Oh, we don't have big egos. He's got the biggest ego that I've ever seen in NBA history. The biggest ego. He makes an and one. He's got this arrogant look on his face like, yeah, whatever. Or, he does this little, brush off the shoulders, get off me. He's got this arrogant attitude about him on the court. And that's why a lot of people don't like him as an NBA basketball player. And then he leaves the court early, like in game 3, he leaves the court early, not having a respect for opponent or respect for the game. And that's what drives me nuts. It's the little things like that that drive me insane, mentally insane. So there's a lot to talk about in this topic. I will hold everything back until this series starts, but please stay tuned for that. Obviously, there's going to be more NFL news coming up. Dak Prescott with a dislocated ankle, a very gruesome and horrific injury. Prayers go up and hopeful for a speedy recovery for this guy. The guy led the NFL in throwing yards up till like over 1,800 passing yards in the first 4.5 games of the season. He's on pace to blow 6,000 yards this year. And he dislocates his ankle, and that's a tough setback for a Cowboys team that is 1-4, 2-3 now. This is a huge setback for them. And Mike McCarthy and this organization got to dig deep to find, and Andy Dalton's their backup. Yes, I know, but Andy Dalton has had a history of turnovers, throwing multiple picks. You guys remember game 1 of 2019 season? He threw 5 interceptions, no touchdowns in the first game. So let's not get it twisted, but I will say this. He does not have an A.J. Green that's always been injured. He has Michael Gallup. He has Amari Cooper. He has one of the best wide receiver cores in the league, CeeDee Lamb. He's got 2 decent tight ends. And he's got plenty of weapons. He's got Zeke. You can't forget Zeke. And we will see how this all plays out as the weeks go along here in the NFL season. But there's more coming up. Stay tuned for that video. Thank you guys so much for your time. Please subscribe. Please like the page, my Facebook page. Please subscribe, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys again so much. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Deuces.